Now, a lot of creators want to jump into the world of being a travel influencer or travel creator, but I hope that you watch this video first before you dive in, because what I'm about to share is the side that really people don't talk about when it comes to travel influencing. Now, as someone who has worked on the brand side with hotels and tourism boards, that means I'm literally have hired travel influencers and creators on the UGC side and influence side for my brand clients. And as someone who also has a community of over 100,000 creators, some of my closest friends are travel creators. So I see, not just in theory, but in practice, what this job really looks like. And it's obviously way more than just pretty pictures. What I want to share in today's video are 7 things that I think not enough people talk about in our industry when it comes to travel creation, and kind of help you see the full picture before you decide if this is something that you want to jump into. Now, I will say that all of my friends that are in this and that are serious about this and that are making serious money in this will always say that the benefit outweighs, the cons. But in every job, there are cons and you should know about them. Now, the first thing, and I know this is probably obvious, but if you really think about it, you'll be like, damn, it's true, right? It's more than just traveling. As someone who loves to travel herself, I know that a lot of traveling is the logistics side of it, right? And that does require a certain type of brain, or I would say organized type of brain, someone who's able to, from a logistics standpoint, from planning the trip to optimizing the actual trip, right? And then you're not just traveling for fun, like maybe you and I do. You're there shooting content. You have a shot list. Like, you're really not even there enjoying things as much as maybe you are shooting content that you need to have for a certain client, or B-roll shots that you need, right? Now, this isn't to say that you can't enjoy the trip. Again, successful travel influencers have a good sense of time management because they're super organized. They go in there, they're like, this is what I got to shoot. This is what I got to leave with. That way they can enjoy the rest of their trip. They're not just there mindlessly shooting everything, because that would be really overwhelming, right? They have like a very specific content that they're looking to leave with. But logistics is a big piece of the pie. Yes, on Instagram and on YouTube, we just get to see the fun trip. We get to see the cooking tour. We get to see the walking tour, but we didn't see all the logistics to plan that tour, right? Searching, finding the best one for your budget, like booking it, all the micro tasks and micro steps that you need to actually get to said activity or set experience. We just get to see the experience, but you don't see all the planning that requires to get there, as well as all the content planning, all the editing, and all the work that goes into creating a 2-minute video, that's really hours and hours of work. Also, when you think of this, guys, when you're travel influencing and you're creating maybe short form video, we see 60 seconds. And oftentimes when my travel influencers that I partner with or that I work with, when they're pitching to brands, their rates are higher because, again, they're not just in the room shooting beauty content in a mirror. Obviously, there's other time that goes into that because you have to put the makeup on and all of that. But travel creators, sometimes it's 8-hour, 12-hour days. And that content is worth more than an hour content that's maybe shot in your living room, right? Because you actually have to go and experience the destination. And that's not just something that you do in 30 minutes. You need a long time. I think that's why travel creators are able to charge more. Now, if you're interested in pitching travel brands, pitching travel, tourism boards, hotels, backpack companies, hiking boots, all of that, make sure you sign up to my next free live training. We're going to go over on how to pitch paid brand deals, regardless of the industry you're in. So that way you are making the most of these trips and pitching partners on the ground to hopefully pay for these experiences. So go ahead and sign up for that free live training. It's amazing. You're going to learn a lot. And it's going to help you make your trips worthwhile financially because you're going to hopefully be able to get them paid. Now, the second thing when it comes to travel influencing, the isolation and the loneliness of it. A lot of travel influencers do travel alone. They travel solo. Think about it. If your husband or wife, has to work, it's hard to get them to come on the road with you or get them to come and experience these things with you. Even if you're, single and you're like, oh, I want to bring my friend or my mom. yeah, they can come for certain trips, but they're not going to be able to live this whole journey with you. Especially if you're really trying to slow travel and get to know a destination, it takes time and it is often very isolating. You're away from your friends and family. It could be hard to maintain relationship. And sometimes, yeah, there is a little bit of a feeling of homesickness, right? I have a friend right now who just texted me saying, I'm dying to get home. I've been in 4 different time zones. It's really overwhelming not being able to kind of have that routine while you're abroad. For some creators, they'll say, yes, it's lonely, but then you meet people on the road. A lot of solo travelers find joy in being alone, but also, regardless if you find joy or you're able to, make it work for you, there are moments that you do feel isolated and you do feel far away from your network and your community. Now, traveling can be really expensive. So this is an expensive hobby. Now, obviously, it depends the type of traveler you are, what you're looking for. I have people telling me, Nina, I could do it for $20,000 a year. And I have people telling me like, yeah, it racks up, right? If you're getting into travel influencing, you have to think about like that monetary investment you are making into your business. Yes, you're traveling, it is an investment, but you want to make sure you're making the most out of these trips, right? Because it can all add up. Financially, it's an expensive industry to get into. And that's why so many creators want to pitch to hotels. They want to pitch to tourism boards because they're able to kind of get part of that trip comped. Now, I did mention earlier about our free training, but if you're someone who is already working with hotels and tourism boards or looking to pitch and you're getting on more press trips, this is what, they call them, right? They're press trips. Hotels and tourism boards host press trips so influencers can come on them and review their country, review their hotel. I actually have a press trip etiquette guide. It's a freebie. It's completely free. So I will leave a link below so that you guys can check out that resource and it will help you make the most of these press trips so that you show up correct. I call it an etiquette guide because it's just helping you, really be professional when you're working with hotels and tourism boards. Now, this one I hear literally all the time from creators. Some solo creators will say, Nina, I don't get isolated. I don't feel lonely. But a lot of creators feel this one, which is pressure to travel. So there's this, you almost lose the joy of traveling because now you're like, oh my God, it's a job and I have to like do it all the time. And I have to make sure I'm posting constantly. And there's this pressure now that is around traveling and giving your audience content. I think a lot of travel influencers in the beginning, before TikTok and everything had to be like really perfect, there was this immense stress around producing high quality content. Like, did I get the shot? Is it perfect? Remember those Instagram days when everything had to be really beautiful? That was a very stressful time for a lot of travel influencers because, again, it was more about the shot. It was more about like this picture perfect rather than the raw, natural experience of it all. I think we are seeing a change in this trend where a lot more now on social people are looking for that user-generated content, that content that feels a little bit more raw and authentic. But there is still pressure to travel. A lot of creators will tell me, oh, I really want to get into travel influencing, but I have a full-time job and I can't travel that much. And of course, here at Sidewalker, we have strategies for that. We've even made a video here on the channel that talks all about how to be a travel influencer when you have limited travel time. So you can go ahead and check that video out for more ideas. And of course, if you guys are interested in getting into travel influencing and you can't travel a lot and you need someone in your corner helping you build a roadmap or content strategy or just getting you organized, I'm happy to work with you guys. You can go ahead and book a one-on-one with me or even book a bigger package while I will dive into your biz and help you get started. So outside of this idea of like pressure to travel, because now you're like, oh my God, I'm in this destination. Now I need to go somewhere else. I need to keep shooting. I need to keep doing. There is a little bit of like a physical toll and mental toll that traveling can take on you. The severe jet lag, not being able to stay on routine necessarily from a health perspective. Yeah, some of us can work out on the road. Of course we can. And some of us can remain super healthy while on the road. And from like a food perspective, just not putting in the best nutrients in your body all the time, all the things, right? Also, this one creator told me like, I have a really great workout routine when I'm home. I'm able to stay active. But when I travel, yes, I'm walking and I'm getting my steps in, but she was very stressed. Again, this is her own thing about just not being able to do certain like workouts while abroad. Now, again, of course, you can do it anywhere. It's a mindset, but I just wanted to bring that to the table because for some people that is a toll, like not having that sense of routine. Because when you're travel influencing, there is no routine. Some are going to stay in hostels, some may stay in hotels. Yeah, a hotel may have a gym, but for others, it could be hard to get that workout in. A lot of time, again, you're working on your laptop, like content planning, researching ideas, producing your shot list, editing, responding to emails, pitching to brands, like responding to requests, all of that sort of stuff, because life has to also continue. So a little bit of a mental toll there. Now, obviously, when you are jumping around from place to place, there is a little bit of this lack of security, lack of stability, right? You don't have a traditional 9 to 5, so maybe there's not necessarily certain benefits. You have to look for certain healthcare plans, Again, there's the business side now of influencing, right? And it's like, okay, wait a second, this isn't just traveling a big vacation. I also have to make sure that I have covered health insurance or travel insurance. And because of that lack of financial stability, especially when you're getting started, still have to put myself out there because I need money, right? So there is this like fine tightrope that you're walking between exploring a new destination and having fun, but also then being like, wait a second, this is a job, this is work, I'm on an assignment, I need to produce certain content to keep this page alive, growing, etc. So it's not always just, again, a long vacation. There's more than obviously the meat to the eye. I think for solo travelers, especially women, we're seeing like rise of security concerns just in general, like how to stay safe. And again, that requires planning and research, So those are the hidden effects that we don't always get to see. Now, another point that I did want to bring up, and this will be interesting to see how this kind of all plays out when it comes to sustainability concerns, especially in the travel influencing world. Back in the day, we saw so many creators trying to rush from destination to destination, and people were calling them out like for their environmental impact, like being like, what does that even do for the world? Like to be on a flight like every other day, right? And then you saw a big shift happening where people were into more slow travel and like traveling a little bit slower. You can't talk about travel influencing without talking about the environmental impact. And I think that's something creators are becoming more and more conscious of. So again, this is something that creators have gotten backlash for. It also makes you reflect on like, what does sustainable tourism look like for you? One of the things that happened to one of these creators, this doesn't have to do with sustainability, but it just reminded me, was she went to a new country and she was eating something or talking about it in a way, and she didn't realize like how she came off on social. And of course, like everyone came at her, was saying it's so disrespectful and like all these things. And when you are jumping from country to country, or when you're in the travel influence space, you really do have to watch how you speak of other people, cultures. You want to make sure it's done with respect. And again, that's why we're not posting like bluntly and impulsively. Creators, especially in travel, they're speaking on behalf of other people. So it is a little bit of a nuanced and sensitive topic depending what you're talking about. Of course, you always want to make sure you do it with the utmost respect. Anyways, guys, so now you heard a little bit of the dark side and the behind the scenes of what it really looks like. It's not always glamorous, right? Even though we see it as so glam. I'm curious, what do you guys think of all of this? Would it stop you from wanting to be a travel influencer? Or is it okay? Like I said, for all the creators I work with, most of the times they're like, it's worth it because they love their jobs. They love the sense of freedom. They love traveling. And they're like, this beats my 9 to 5 any day. So I'm curious what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. Of course, if you liked this video, make sure you go ahead and click like so I know to keep producing videos like this for you guys. And I will see you in the next video.